Syrian Arabic. Alpha.
Jesus. Honey, is this something? True what I said. You know who you are. Say so.
Where'd you get that? From Alano's place? You found something up there. Well, something's found. You should know.
Like what? And if you know, you should never ever tell. Beware my wrath.
I remember waking up and...
So, on one of my old channels, I know I had a playlist about this. Looks like most of the videos that were in here have been removed by YouTube since whenever. So there's that. And anywho, but the main reason that I screen recorded that is because I seen this, but once it got to the part of like the different demons speaking through people, that's what reminded me of the situations that I've been trying to describe with the Chomo sex preds, and even the Let Me Help You lunatics, which are also Marine Kingdom agents, but I'm not really focused on talking about them because I don't want to go somewhere else. But like I said in my video titled, I think it was groomers or Marine Kingdom agents or sexual predators or R-word or something like that, or Marine Kingdom agents, I don't really remember. And plenty of other videos I've mentioned up till now of like just daily encounters. And like I said, the Marine Kingdom demons, they'll give you dreams about what they plan to do or get to happen to you, or even maybe to get you to do to somebody else if they could, to like keep initiating you and keep getting you to do things that are illegal in the realm of the spirit, so they can like get you more demonized and just keep screwing stuff up for you and fracture you and split you, especially when it comes to the SA part. And then also the soul ties, I almost forgot about that. And so anywho, in one of these videos, or probably plenty of them, especially in my playlist about paraphilias and my other one about the Geronophile agenda, I mentioned specifically that the Marine Kingdom agents, they say the same thing to you through people that they say or do in dreams. So like, even the other day, like I had some weird old guy, because their eyes light up when they see me because they feel like maybe they have a chance to do something crazy. And he gave me $1. I left the $1 on the table. This was at the Catholic soup kitchen type thing. And so there's that. They'll give you money, but mostly going back to when I got stuck in Alabama for 2 weeks in early 2023, there's this dude, and he was like, the reason you're wearing a mask is because you're trying to hide how beautiful you are, or something like that. And then a year later, across the country, I had somebody else say the same thing to me. In fact, I think I've had a couple people say something like that to me even up till now. And so that's why I put in that screen recording, but I'm going to put the link to the video in the description, because the video talks about MK Ultra and SRA and some other stuff, which I may not even edit that part out, but I don't know. Or I'll put the main part, I'll edit that, and then I'll put it in the beginning, and then I'll still play the rest of the video. Okay, so I just realized that like the recorder thing wasn't really working, but a line that's universal that I think I should add in is, "Are you okay? Do you need help?" This is when you're not in an ideal situation. Now, of course, I already know that there is no help. That's part of why I'm out here anyways. So I already know that like anybody who says that is going to be a let me help you lunatic or some other type of predatory person. And something that actually, no, I learned this when I was in a Jim Crow self-confined placement a little before I escaped, that it was just better to Grey Rock and Stonewall. And I mentioned this in my opening channel video, what to do if you're abused or something like that. I mentioned how someone had told me when I was in the Jim Crow self-confined placement, never argue with people that have the ability to ruin your life. So I just started to Grey Rock and Stonewall more, and I talk about that in that video. Because there was this whole thing when I was in the Jim Crow self-confined sped placement, where like one of the staff members, the really abusive one, she had started cursing me out for reading a book. And so that's when I learned that. And Great Rock and Stonewall is definitely something I've been doing a lot again since I've been where I've been at for the past couple months, because there's a lot of Marine Kingdom activity. So there's a lot of DL, Chomo people and just daily encounters. One of the universal terms, if I didn't, I think I already said this. Did I already say the whole? I don't know, because I'm getting confused because I had to record this twice because it stopped working at first. But the "Are you okay? Do you need help?" Even when I was in Santa Cruz, there was this quote-unquote white lady and her husband or whatever in the world that pretty much admitted that they wanted to use me for a demonic ritual, and I was like, And she was talking about some climbing my trunk for snacks, and they had this Alaskan Husky, and they were telling me about how much money they made. And so, anywho, before I had no, I was about to say before I walked away, when they first popped up, they of course did the whole "Are you okay? Do you need help?" thing. But one thing that I noticed, especially people on this like type of abusive, honestly, it's worse than Jezebelic type spectrum. With these types of abusive people, and especially when it comes to like caucasoids, like even in law enforcement with the police, they're very bad at faking emotion. It maybe even goes back to a Neanderthal type thing, but they're bad at faking facial expressions, and they're bad at faking like they're concerned. And I noticed the same thing with police and medical professionals, and that's another reason why I say something that people should already know. Law enforcement and medical professionals is the same thing. And like I said before a long time ago, there's this saying that went viral from this lady who made a video where she was like, doctors are to quote unquote, because I don't like the black or white labels, doctors are to quote unquote black women, what police are to black men. But I think that can even become more universal than that. But anywho, so she did the whole "Are you okay? Do you need help?" thing, but it was very obviously not sincere, just like what police will do when people call the police on me, or when they just wanted harass, and they'll like initially come up claiming that they're so worried about me for whatever reason. So yeah, there's that. Another universal term, I guess I could say, is quote unquote, "Have you ever effed around with a grown man before?" And I'm trying to think of something else, but I can't really think of any other universal terms that I've heard them use right now. That's the first one that comes to mind though, really. Another one I forgot, which I made a video about this a couple weeks ago, which is kind of supposed to go over how people are after what the light in people, or what they see as innocence, or quote unquote innocence, I guess. And this is the universal line of "you're a really hot kid" or "you're a really good looking kid." And then another one, which is "are you a boy or a girl? Either way, I don't discriminate." And then if they can't get you to accept money from them or any other gifts, which are there to create covenants, just like how in the dreams they'll try to get you to eat food and they'll try to give you money and gifts, then they'll just randomly touch you, especially like they'll do it really quickly while you're not looking. Like I had to punch and kick this 62-year-old this was some weeks ago over that. Then there's been 2 recent situations of the same thing, because I'm in the heavy Marine Kingdom agent area anyways. Like I was just getting off the bus and I bent over for 2 seconds to put something in my book bag, and I just felt like somebody come and like rub the top of my head, and I didn't even see who did it until I looked up and I saw the person that had already got pretty far away, and it happened so quick, like I was confused at first. So stuff like that they'll do, which are always going to try to make reasons to touch you and even to talk to you, which I've talked about before, predatory people, even what I like to call "let me help you" lunatics. They always have reasons to try to talk to you and get in your business. Even this thing when it comes to homelessness, typically, if you're in a sleeping bag and people just see a body in a sleeping bag, in some places more than others especially, they're not going to want to approach you. If anything, they'll call the police to approach you, or if they want you to move, maybe like they do in Cali or something, they'll kick you in the head if they're willing to get close enough to get you to move. But if somebody's willing to come and start a conversation with a body in a sleeping bag, they're definitely not safe, because that usually scares people away in general. because people are scared of homeless people. So, what that means is that they're trying to get you to start talking to see what your gender is and whether you sound like an easy target. That's all that is. And to maybe even guess how old you are.
Tremendous pain. It was a darker energy because obviously the children were being tortured. She's absorbing the energy from the children. And I survived it, but a lot of the children in there didn't survive it.
When was this? What age were you when this happened?
I was like 7 years old when this happened. I was one of the children that survived electric shocks. Now they were also had sort of out of my body, but I could hear and I could see, but it was like a far away sort of thing because I was disassociated really bad. And then I remember that I could hear them speaking, and they were going to take this energy and they were going to put it on food. They were going to throw this dark energy on food. So whoever eats the food would also be. They would be charmed, and they would be energetically, parasitically linked, and they would be depressed and all sorts of. This energy works on the negative emotions. It absorbs it, it likes it, and into the water. That's the pollution of the water. Everybody knows that the human body is made mostly up of water. Well, it's programmable. Water's programmable. The thing is if you mess with the water and pollute the water, and then the people drink that, or it rains down, or they swim in it, or they get in it, obviously effect on them, and lots of different effects on them. So they're trying to do is they're trying to pretty much pollute everybody in the world to where they don't know what's going on anymore. Even the few awakened one, heart-touching memory I have is that I was in space and I could see this black goo or this black smoke encompass Earth, just like smoke encompass it.
Inside the galaxy.
Yes, it comes from somewhere else, from what I understand. It comes from somewhere else. I'm still trying to figure that out.
So
It puts you in amnesia also. I've noticed that the more that you don't remember, it puts you in amnesia. I noted when I was small, I would see it on I would see on people who abused their children. I would see on murderers. I would see on all sorts of people when they were very negative, I would see on them. And it would express, I had instances where I would talk to somebody and then they would say certain words. And then I'd go down the road and talk to somebody else and they would continue the conversation because it was that same energy speaking through these people that it had hacked into.
Syrian Aramaic. How clever.
Jesus.
Honey, is this something?
It's true what I said, though. I do know who you are. It's Hazel.
Where'd you get that? From Alano's place? You found something up there. Well, some things, pal. You should know.
Like what?
And if you know, you should never ever tell.
Beware my wrath.